Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Super-Fanta-Fi. This being a show where I talk about TV shows of the supernatural, fantasy, and/or science fiction genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Supernatural. Another great episode. Obviously, a big focus of this episode is the fact is that Castillo has returned. Obviously, he returned last episode, but now it's like everyone. Because part of me was like, there's a part of me that's like, is this really Cass? Could this be that thing? Could it be like the thing from the empty, pretending to be him or something? It's like, no. It seems like it's Cass. At least for no, not at least for now. It definitely seemed like it is Cass. And it was so cool seeing Jack and him like meet officially for the first time, which Jack remembers that moment of being inside of Kelly and then like Castiel being there. It's like he felt safe, So this little nice reunion. You even have Jack saying like, oh, I got a case. And it's like, whoa, how do you, like, he knows how to do everything. He's basically turning a little bit into Sam, like, oh, I found a case. It's like, oh, it's possibly zombies. I think it's zombies and stuff like that. It was so cool. And it's so interesting to see Jack grow beyond. I mean, obviously time's going on. He's learned a little bit more watching Sam and Dean. And it's nice to see him grow before our eyes like that. Especially for Castiel too, because it's like when he looks at Jack, like a whole the conversation of like, oh no, you take the bed. I don't sleep very much as well. I don't sleep at all. And it just almost like this little weird, awkward pause because it's like this is their first time around each other. But for Castiel, he apologized because like I wasn't there for you. Which Jack is like, no, the fact that his mom said I had a guardian angel, and now I see that it's you. So, obviously, like so much to go over. Obviously, this episode didn't in particular deal with a zombie. It dealt with ghouls, which I love the fact that you have Jack being like, "Oh yeah, did you know anything weird? Any weird smells?" And he stands like, Jack." It's like, I mean, he's a rookie. He's in training and stuff like that. I just love that. I also appreciate that like almost like moment of like him being like, "Oh wait, the ghoul in this case looking like Dave, Athena's boyfriend." Like just the fact gets it cut back like that. It was almost like a detective moment of like, oh yeah, I remember this. It kind of reminds me of Psych. If you've ever seen the show Psych, fantastic show. If you have never seen Psych, take time out of your busy schedule to like watch Psych because it's a really good comedy crime drama. But nevertheless, it kind of had a thing like that where like Sean would kind of cut back to a moment. It just kind of reminded me of that. I thought that was kind of pretty neat. But the sad moment, you had that moment of, because what's interesting about this episode too is like the fact is it's one of those episodes that almost shows like it was almost kind of like last week's episode in a way too. The fact is that it's like monsters who aren't 100%. Well, no, that wasn't last week. That the week before last is what I meant. That basically it had the actress who played Doc from Van Helsing in it. She was a shapeshifter. In that case, it's like a monster who was trying to do some good. In this case, I was like, oh, like he loves her, so it's like, oh, obviously, like he's not that bad of a guy. But it's like, well, he killed a deputy because the deputy was sniffing around because he did, he eats dead people and stuff like that. So. But for him, it's just like everything he did, it was almost like some Bonnie and Clyde type of thing. Like he, in a weird way, he was romantic because everything he ever did, he did for her because he loves Athena. The fact of the matter is, like, he even robbed the bank so that she could go to move to the big city so that she could go to like some college or art thing that she kind of got accepted into. So he loved her. I mean, sadly, she just didn't know that her boyfriend was a literal monster that ate people and took on their form. Like, cause the particular guy that he took on the form of was long since dead fast shooter who was he was kind of a cowboy. And I love that we learn about Dean in this episode. Has that come up before? I don't remember that. Maybe it has, but Dean being like a huge cowboy fan, it's like, oh, look at this. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday. It's like, and he's losing it. It's just like, everyone's looking at him. It's like, wow, Dean really likes cowboys. It's like, yes, he does. It's like, he's losing his shit on this whole situation. And then even him and Cass going to the crime scene and everything, dressed up like, Cass is like, I feel stupid in this. He's like, no, don't worry about it. Okay. And he's like, now, pretend like you're from Tombstone. I'm like, the place? No, the movie. I made sure you watched it. It's just like, and he's like, oh, so you boys are Texas Rangers. Before like Cass could really say anything, he said, yeah, we're Texas Rangers. I'm like, dude. Now, are you doing that simply because just Texas Rangers are cool, or are you doing that just because you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little Walker, Texas Ranger? I'm about to see Walker, Texas Ranger. Got my whole Walker, Texas Ranger thing going on, going all full Chuck Norris. I don't, But he never made an actual reference other than saying that, so I don't know whether that's supposed to be implied or was he just been like, oh yeah, yeah, we're top dogs like Texas Ranger. I don't know. Either way, I mean, luckily, I mean, it's one of those episodes where it's like, oh man, luckily everything kind of went off without a hitch, too much of a hitch. Obviously, like, the deputy dying kind of helped set everything off, but everyone else, Athena, as well as Sergeant Phillips, like, they weren't killed. I mean, Sergeant Phillips was almost like being dug through the ground, and Dean having to go through those small tunnels, and just like, yeah, I was all excited about coming to Dodge City, and now look at me. So, luckily, nothing happened to anyone. I almost thought when Athena came running down the stairs, like, why are you here again? Like, for a second, I was like, that's him disguised as her, isn't it? It's like, he ate her, and it's like, because like he heard that people were here, and he knew it was hunters asking weird questions like that, but I was like, okay. Also, like, I kind of forgot to bring it up earlier too, but there's like I said, this whole thing's kind of still a learning experience for Jack. So seeing him kind of getting all dressed up in a suit, pretending to be an agent and stuff like that. Even like he's like, oh my god, the meter's going all over the place. It's like, well, we're in a graveyard, Jack, so it's not going to do us much good here. So it's just little moments like that. But I also like how the confrontation ended. He's like, yo, you think you're faster than me? He's like, no, I don't have to be. He is. And moves out of the way, and Sergeant Phillips, like, takes him out with a headshot. Because I love that. He's like, oh, I'm not, did you bring your badge? Like, nope. He's like, oh, I'm not here to take him in either. He's like, me neither. And it's like, yeah. Without going into it, it's like, yeah. If it, go for the head. Just without really explaining anything. So it's like, what happened? It's like, yeah, a bad guy, he killed a deputy, and he tried to kill you. Let's leave it at that. And Sergeant Phillips, all right, I can live with that. So I always love those situations where it's like, yeah, let's not get too deep into the whole supernatural element. We'll just kind of keep it as normal as possible. So we'll kind of won't really get into it too much like that. It got sucked for Athena though. Like, I guess that's why he kind of dug her a lot too, because like being around her was easy access to bodies. I mean, he couldn't necessarily get to them whenever he wanted to, but her being the Undertaker, well, that's his excuse for being around so much. It's like, oh yeah, my girlfriend works here and everything. So, like I said, in a weird way, it's kind of sad because it's like, oh, he loved her and everything, but I don't know. Maybe if he went about it, like if he didn't hurt the deputy, because the only reason why he did is because the deputy was looking into the old grave things and was following and getting too close why he killed him. So. But obviously the biggest thing from this episode is the whole situation with Jack. Jack tried to do the right thing. He's like, I got this. Dave ended up shooting him twice, but it's like, I'm fine. That won't hurt. And he uses his powers, but in the process, he ends up killing the security guard from the bank. And it devastates him. Like, he can't, like, this is the first time, like, it's not the first time he's ever hurt anyone, but this is the first time he's ever killed anyone. So, not even just a monster or anything. This is the first time killing anything or anyone in general, and it's too much to handle, like, because everyone, and you have Castillo, you have Sam, you even have Dean later on trying to make him feel better about it, because they kind of covered it up, make it seem like it was Dave that killed the security guard instead of Jack. Because they're like, Jack, we've all made mistakes. We've hurt people. We've killed people, innocent people in situations like this. Like, none of us are saints in this whole situation. So I still believe you're good. It's like Sam still believes you're good. So, but Jack, he's beating himself about. Because I think another thing too about it is, for Jack, the reason why this hit him hard is because for him, his mom believes in him so strongly. Cass is back, and he believes in him so strongly. People have faith in him, and it's like, what did he do? He hurt someone. Yeah, it might not have meant to do it, but like that's the dangers of his powers. And it's like, who's to say I won't hurt more people or kill more people? It's like, for him, I'm sure it's also like a slap in the face with his mom talking about all the great things he's doing. And I think he feels like he's letting her down more than anyone else. His mom's up in heaven, and she would probably be, in his eyes, it's like, oh, she'd be ashamed of me of what I've done. So, but I think there's also that aspect of, it's something that he talked about in that, like I said, with the whole therapist episode, about how like certain things he didn't feel like, he knows he should feel bad, but he doesn't. So that makes him question things too. I wonder if that's the thing too, whether he knows what he did was bad, but maybe he's scared most of all because he didn't feel anything. The look on his face made me kind of think there might be something, he might not have empathy, and it's just like, it might be hitting him hard. And the fact is that he's not feeling anything makes him scared even more. And he's like, so for him, it's like, I need to get away from you guys. Because even Dean's like, if you're a monster, we're monsters. Then, so you think we're good guys? Then, like, we've made mistakes. So obviously, you've made a mistake. It's just kind of what comes with this line of duty. But Jack is like, he can't be around them. Like he's got to figure out for himself like what he can do, where he can like staying in a situation isn't going to help. So he ends up leaving, which is sad. Like him and Cassio just got reunited and he's leaving. I did wonder if they were going to make this like a 4-person team from now on, now that Cassio's kind of stepped back in the picture. But for now, Jack's on his own. I'm sure it's like, maybe it's probably going to be like that every once in a while throughout episodes. We'll cut to see what Jack is doing. Like, it's probably not going to be like every episode we get cut to what Jack is doing. It's like, no, it's like, typically like it usually happens like with Cassio too. Like you'll have like Sam and Dean in the bunker doing stuff. Every other episode they're doing a case. And then still, it's going to be them probably looking for Jack going forward. But, still working cases along the way. And typically how it kind of rolls with the show. So I'm curious to see what goes down, like, with Jack. I'm also curious, like, there was a part of me that was wondering about the whole Cassio situation when he tried to heal the dude. It's like, well, the dude was already dead. But part of me was also wondering, like, a quick thing popped in my head. It's like, you don't think Cassio came back with, like, no powers, too? Also, side note, like, I think I might have brought this up when I was talking about the empty, too. It's like, technically Crowley's somewhere in there, too. So, could be a potential bringing him back. Probably not, but the potential's there. So, I'm curious to see what they do with this whole Jack situation now that he's crossed that line. Like, I'm sure he's going to be a lot more hesitant to use his powers going forward. But for him, it's like his powers are his main arsenal. He just wants to do good. For him, it's like every time he tries to do the right thing, it comes blowing up in his face. Which the Winchesters understand that more so than anyone. All the times they've tried to do the right thing and it's come back to, like, punched him in the face countless times throughout the series. It just kind of happens. It's not, so it's sad to see things kind of turn out this way. So, very interested, to see what goes down in the next episode with this whole situation. Another thing too, well, because really quickly, let's not forget Death knows about, well, Billy / Death knows about Jack's existence. He's on his own, which means everyone is going full throttle if he's on his own. Because let's not forget Asmodeus and the demons. We haven't seen them for a while, but they still want him. But more so because Asmodeus wants him there so that he can be there to advise Jack on what to do with his powers and stuff like that. Obviously, the angels still want him. I know, like I said, what I was alluding to was like Billy and Death have taken an interest in him being like the cosmic level powers that he's got. Like, I'm surprised like him doing what he did for Cassio didn't cause any like attention from anybody except for the thing inside of the empty. I guess because it's such an empty thing that it exists outside of heaven, hell, like this universe and everything. It exists on a plane on its own that anything affecting it won't really appear anywhere else. Because I'm curious to know about that thing. Like, obviously, it can't sleep while Castiel is there. But, maybe things are actually worse now that Castiel's on Earth. Because it's like, it still gets that ringing because things are still not 100% right there. So, maybe its headaches kind of gotten mild. I don't know. I'm very curious to see, like, where that all goes. Like I said, maybe I brought it up that maybe that thing came disguised as Castiel. But maybe that thing actually took a ride back with Castiel. Sorry, I got too ahead of myself. I got tongue-tied. I got too excited to think about what about Billy and Castiel. That's definitely going to be interesting, especially for Billy. It's like, oh, I got resurrected as Death, but it turns out that you're back from a place that you're not supposed to come back from. That's okay. Especially because the fact is his body was destroyed too, which this isn't the first time Castiel has come back, but it takes some like super cosmic level stuff. The last time he died like that was the whole Leviathan situation at the beginning of season 7. No, it wasn't. It was the beginnings of season 7 earlier on when the whole Leviathan's like exploded from his body and he died. I forgot how he came back from that whole situation. But nevertheless, it's also a good thing too because it's like, Claire probably didn't know about the whole like him being dead thing. So obviously, like, her and Cass have their problems, sure, but I'm sure she'd be happy to. I mean, I doubt they went out of their way to tell Claire that, but maybe they. I don't know. I'm so interested to see how that all turns out. Be kind of interesting if you got Jack and Claire to meet each other around Cassio too, because it's like those are kind of the closest thing to his kids. Which you felt that when Cassio hugged Jack too, because it's like, oh yeah, that's almost like a father hugging his child for the first time. It's such an interesting thing. So, like I said, those are just my random thoughts about this whole situation going forward. So, like I said, I'm super excited to see what goes on in the next episode. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.